Tim, welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Omega de Ville Chronoscope Co-Axial 4 counters chronograph. You can see and you can purchase this coaxial escapement day-date automatic COSC certified Swiss chronometer chronograph on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full listing for this watch with additional accessories included in the sale, high resolution images, and naturally our complete pricing details for this timepiece. Now on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see the character of this watch is defined by the span of its lugs. I always say that the fit of a watch is determined by its lugs. They can make a small watch wear large and a large watch wear small. And this watch at 41 millimeters features Baroque fluted lugs that are massive and span impressively, giving the watch the visual presence and the ergonomic effect of a much larger timepiece. Now 41 millimeters across the broad of the case from 3 to 9, not inclusive of chronograph pushers and crown, the watch wears a big 41. Now it's impressively thick, 16 millimeters. You can see that's somewhat minimized by a stepped case flank and a domed bezel. The watch will slide underneath a loose sweater or a sport jacket or blazer cuff, but it will hang up the tightest of formal dress sleeves. The lugs, which define the look and the feel of this watch, are massive, and though they span 51.5 millimeters across the wrist, not outlandish. Nevertheless, their shape, which doesn't taper much down and around the wrist, means that they contribute to the sense that this watch is much larger on the wrist than it really is. It looks bigger, and to my personal impression, it feels larger. Moreover, I would say that the lower limit for wearing this watch with a sense of proportion is probably 15 centimeters in circumference, so just a little bit smaller than my wrist. That's probably the lower limit to wear this watch with a sense of security and proportion. Now, the watch is hefty. It has an impressive amount of mass to it. That's because of the deep case, the massive bezel, and as you can see, the immense lugs with the solid case back. Now, the case back pays tribute to Chronos, father of gods. So this is quite a departure from Omega's typical notation of moon flight experience. It's also quite a departure from the hippocampus or the seahorse typically seen on the back of Omega sports-oriented timepieces. What it does give you is a different look and an homage to the Greek origins of the Omega name, which the manufacturer has used to great commercial success since the late 19th century. Now the watch is paired with a very substantial, as you can see, monotone stitch black alligator leather strap. It is black, and it's paired with a single fold deployant twin trigger actuated folding buckle that helps to counterbalance the mass of the watch on the wrist. Almost like the keel of a sailboat, its mass helps to prevent the watch from capsizing if you buckle it lightly. Now you also note that it features a minder system, so it tucks excess strap underneath the body of the clasp, removing the need for minder loops and really cleaning up the aesthetic of the watch when it's on the wrist. The twin trigger system allows for security and peace of mind, knowing that the clasp will not accidentally pop open. You'll also note that the dial and the case of this watch each deserve a shout out in their own right. The case is stepped, it's fluted, it has character lines and curves, it has drama to it, genuine drama. You have to say that the combination of a sort of Baroque case form and a dial to match qualifies as a downright ambitious attempt by Omega to break from its traditional design language. This is very much removed from the traditional de Ville round case watches, the Constellations with their grief claws, or any Speedmaster or Seamaster reference. Quite a departure. The case is inspired by 1950s Omega references that featured claw or stepped or horn style lugs, but you can see the amount of character lines involved and the complexity of the design goes solidly beyond anything established during the 1950s, and it's very much a watch with its own strong identity. It's a love-hate watch, and it's not afraid to be polarizing, and the same goes for the dial. Fundamentally a sunburst slate or anthracite, the outer dial gives way to an inner dial featuring 5 counters as per the name of the watch. Now you can see the date function. There's a day just above the cannon pinion, Monday, and then the date anchors the dial at 6 o'clock. Both feature a quickset in the second crown position. Turning the crown in a clockwise direction will change the day, and counterclockwise will rotate the date. You'll also note 5 counters for chronograph functions include seconds, outboard around the seconds track down to 1/8 of a second. There's also minutes hours and a counter that will tally up to 7 days of activity. Now there's constant seconds at 9 o'clock, one of the largest sub-registers for easy reading when the chronograph is not in action, and beautifully polished hour markers outboard makes for easy reading in spite of the complexity of the dial. Pinched alpha hands at center are both elegant and loomed, so the watch does have some utility in low or no light conditions. It can be read in the dark. With a beautiful applied omega marquee at 12 o'clock, the watch has a strong vertical axis running down through the cannon pinion to the date. Now, beneath that caseback, featuring Chronos, is an Omega caliber 3890. It's based on a Valjoux 7750, but given the coaxial treatment, it's upgraded in every way. It's upgraded with a column wheel to select its functions. It's upgraded with a 52-hour power reserve, the coaxial escapement derived from George Daniels' high horology theories. It features hacking. It features the double quickset. It is a COSC certified Swiss chronometer. It is free-sprung for greater resistance to shock-induced timing variations, and although the case looks something like an overgrown dress watch with 100-meter water resistance, this watch on a textile strap could be your swimming companion. You can see and you can purchase this avant-garde and strident statement of individuality, one of the most ambitious modern Omega designs, on our website.